system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system. Here's the truth about the system that the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. The truth about the mind that'll fuck up your mind. That'll fuck up your the truth about that'll fuck up your truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind. Here's the truth about the system that'll
warning, 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 warning.
Truth about it, that'll fuck up your the truth about it, that'll fuck up your truth about it, that'll fuck up your truth about the system that'll fuck up your mind.
Warning, 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 warning.
Truth about the system that'll
that's right. He was talking. Yeah, that's right. He was talking about that. Hey, we don't give medical misinformation. We don't give revolutionary maxims. We don't give legal advice. But hey, here's Kurzweil talking about it. And I'm not doing any conspiracy stuff. I'm just reading Kurzweil. So don't shoot the messenger, okay?
Yo, I think we're live. Are we live? Are we here? Greetings, everyone. This is Spontaneous Elocutions. Is elocutions even a word? Hold on. We got media assets here that we can play around with. I always like this one to start it off, just to let you know how I'm feeling about things generally.
They don't see a danger to humanity because there won't be a humanity as we see it now. Their entire goal is to redefine what is human. That's why it's called Human 2.0. And so they're really that far down the rabbit hole. I mean, if you listen to them talk, they legit, I think Kurzweil himself said, you know, I'm going to become a god. And if you get in my way, we'll have problems. So they want to build a god and then merge with it. So it's not just, you know, creating advanced technology or advanced robotics or advanced, you know, it's creating it and then merging with it. So that they can carry on and forever. That's their actual stated aim. They want immortality of the flesh. That's why I said if you really want to get into like apocalypse and stuff like you could very well make the case. I mean, it's nuts. And even transhumanism, as crazy it is still just another stepping stone. Eventually, what they want is post-human.
Now, all of these are showing pathways that head down toward the origin of this graph. This is a graphite sort of composition down here with very little oxygen or hydrogen. And so the hydrogen is expended in making the hydrocarbons that are generated.
Graphene is an amazing new material. It was discovered in 2004 and it consists of carbon atoms arranged in a perfect hexagonal lattice.
It's trapping people in a false world to the point where they don't even know it's a false world anymore.
It paves the way to redefine humanity, as you were saying.
Yeah. To redefine truth, redefine humanity, just everything.
So all you gotta do is turn the power switch off.
Animals. I have it on really good authority that all the stuffed animals got out of all the homes and they are safe someplace wherever they stuffed animals go. But you gotta think every time we pan through these neighborhoods, you see this. And these are homes, and we've talked about this in the past, the devastation, the loss that goes on down there, the personal items that will never be recovered. And people say that all the time. It's like, well, property can be replaced. Some things can be replaced. close, but they might not be that same thing that you had lost to begin with. Now, of course, we do know that there were lives lost out here in the Palisades.
Yeah, that was literally Elon. He was in the tower. He was literally Elon was there. He had the chopsticks. Grabbing the rocket. Nobody can do it like Elon can do it. Only Elon. He's the best. He's the greatest. You know, he's got the chopsticks and the rockets. You know, only he can do it.
I wouldn't know anything for a fact with those.
Yeah.
Right, see, like propaganda with words, it can backfire, but all the shit they're doing physically, they're using technology, they're getting away with shit, you know.
Yeah, I think Rocky's right. And they're trying to build that smart city in California. And they want to clear those motherfuckers out. You know, that's what makes sense to me. You know, it's just like real estate. And it's like what they killed that insurance dude. It's just moving money around.
Yeah.
Because I read the thing on my show with Freeman Dyson talking about adaptive optics. And I said the same thing that allows you on a fucking telescope to zoom in a fucking million miles away can be used to point a laser and burn the fuck out of something. I mean, they put it right in their fucking book.
Yeah, it's just, this is the shit now, it's like where you want the truth because you don't want to sound schizo, because they can try to make it look schizo, which is what the elites do. They try to make it look dumb and crazy.
I mean, I'm interested in like the International Space Station. Who's running it? Who agreed that it should be there? And why don't we all agree to shut that motherfucker down? Because that is an international spy station that could be used to fucking aim lasers at you from motherfucking space. So these are the type of issues I think people should be more concerned about.
Oh, they'll just have a black op satellite.
Yeah. Like people don't even think about what's possible, and yet they're scrounging around trying to wonder like what's going on. It's like obviously they have every ability to fucking take over your fucking TV. And, you know, every time you light up a fucking blunt, it's all just fucking rigged.
Come on, satellite, work with me.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got that on record. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So you, I know you don't like European people. Don't worry. Once we're gone, you know, everything will be great. You know, I think it'll
Citation needed.
Yeah, don't worry. Once we're gone, you'll love it. It'll be great.
Citation needed.
The Bible.
The Bible is why I don't like European people.
Well,
I didn't write the Bible, for your information.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah,
true.
really.
I thought you're timeless.
Nope.
No, I mean, you know, you don't like the system that we're under now, and I don't like it either. So, you know, we have that in common. But I'm just saying, like.
So does it mean you also hate Europeans?
Well, I mean, if I was a self-hating European, then I would be Jewish. So, I mean, that would be. I don't want to do that. So.
Well, a lot of Jews are European anyways.
That's the double entendre. I'm glad you got.
Of course I'll catch. I'm a Zionist.
My one true God gave me the word that said, all that shit will be outed in time. Not one hidden thing will not be shown.
The reality is, Nachiketa and I are one of the very, very few people that called this thing from the beginning, from the very beginning.
But all
Yeah, welcome to the Machine Lives, where we talk about the lives of the machine on the machine that lies. You know, there's a video partially that Truther Cop made there. I mean, so go ahead and check that out on his channel. Some of the footage from last week's stream. You know what I mean? And some of those issues about those so-called breakthroughs in technology, right? That have actually been talked about for 20 to 30 years now. I mean, and it's been no surprise to us, right, about the mass conscience and fear attached to certain types of technological innovation, right? So, that's only going to grow, right? And it seems like, obviously, there's not too many philosophies that are available in order to try to resolve some of the fundamental issues, right? Okay, about the root problems, right? The root values, right? You see, the system imparts its own values, right? Okay, on the great mass conscience of men. Now, we looked at a few ideas, right, by Lowell, right, where he was talking about how technique creates means, right? Everything technique touches, it transforms into a machine, right? And all embracing technique is a conscience of the mechanized world, right? Conformity in our age is nothing more than conformity to the technological system, right? So we're seeing a lot of ideas where technology, innovation, right? The scientific worldview, right? The pseudo eschatology of progress, increased forms of individualism and multiculturalism, right? This complex of individualism v collectivism, okay, that has two ideas, right? Individualism is a reaction, right? Okay, through liberal psychology, right, to the alienation one feels, okay, by the herd mentality, right? The hive mind that's you know basically catalyzes the human experience, right? I mean, technical values are everywhere the same, right? They're everywhere about utility and efficiency, right? Complexity breeds assimilation. And the system grows more interconnected. Right? As its complexity grows, it grows in interconnectedness, right? This is the sort of collective incubation, right? And also technical intent, right? That come from innovation and the belief in progress, right? There's a collective belief in progress, right? Okay. But also, this herd mentality focuses on, okay, the over socialized herd animal, right? And also tries to isolate him at the same time, right? So how do we get out of the psychological constraint, right? Okay, of a foggy state of somatic detachment that's brought to us, right? Through the mediation of the use of tools and machines, right? And the loss of agency in large scale enterprises, right? Okay, that forces collective herd mentality, right? This has been the project of modern civilization, right? Okay, to create the mutants of Elul, right? The people that are living in a world that's surrounded by technical advance, but not affected by it at the same time. Okay?
How is that? Elaborate further, please.
Well, as Elul says that we need to build parallel institutions, but also Elul is a Christian anarchist, right? So his political project is involved within a project that is fundamentally trying to both be in the world and not of the world. You see? So he's got this dual-minded mentality, right? But I recant that, perhaps he's being a little bit too involved in the present mode of things because, man cannot serve two masters after all. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not too keen on the little solutions until I've looked more into this political project of Christian anarchism, right? Which I'm steadily trying to get a um guest, who is familiar with the work, right, and who has read the work, right, to come and speak on it, right, so we can have more understanding of another major work by Elul, right, and expand on that side of things, right. But in terms of the idea, we need ideas that draw an antithesis between technique and natural simplicity, right? Draw a distinction between cultural refinement on the one end, okay, technological innovation on the other end, right, and human-centered virtues, okay. And it looks like in the Tao Te Ching we see a very cynical philosophy, right? One that supports labor-saving machines, right? One that supports unmediated action, okay, through simplicity and sincerity, okay, where a man's action is worked in how silently he accomplished his task and how much people can see the results and not the person who performed the task. Okay. So there's all of these ideas how to get into a non-technical, non-mediated mindset within the Tao. Okay. And it presents several points of moral teaching, how to get beyond your way of thinking. Okay. To go into simplicity, natural simplicity, harmony with nature, right? Simplicity is a cornerstone of all virtue, and so is sincerity, right? Okay, if one doesn't have sincerity, one cannot have honor, right? So we're trying to get to actions that are beyond praise and blame, actions that are beyond seeking results, actions that are beyond um trying to force one's ways, oppose ideas on things, right? Okay, we're going beyond ideas that need to take credit for things, beyond ideas that are produced so that one can take note that one is under the ownership of these actions, right? Okay, so what we want is to create without taking credit, produce without ownership, right? It's the virtue of a grandmother sort of thing. Right? Having deep roots. And also not having an external locus of energy outside of oneself that's pulling you towards doing some certain things. Right? Never let restlessness move you. Soften the glare, as Lao Tzu says, right? Okay. So he's working with subtle energies and forms, right? Okay. Usefulness comes from what is not there, right? Profit comes from what is there, right? Okay. We carve out spaces for a room, but the nothing is what we live in, right? Okay. And it's beyond words and beyond manifestations, right? The Tao, or the primordial essence without form, is way beyond words and manifestations, folks. Okay. Okay. It's both silent and still and dark. Okay. Unfathomable darkness, right? Mystery within mystery. Okay. And actually, Lao Tzu backs this up by saying, the best ruler is but a shadowy presence. He rules in the same way that the Tao applies all of these virtues and standards that I've just laid out. Okay. And I do believe that these are opposite of some of the aspects of technique and cultural refinement and political theater that we may become involved in, right? Of course, Lao Tzu is not having any of that, right? He doesn't like labor saving devices. Okay. He doesn't like cultural refinement. Okay. He doesn't like sageliness. Okay. He doesn't like wisdom and knowledge. Okay. He thinks the pursuit of these things is fundamental self deceit, that you can improve your life or others' lives by pursuing these things. Okay. The worst thing you could ever think is that you could save the world by pursuing these things. Then you're really fucked. Then you're really fucked up in the head. Anyways, oh boy, I don't know why I went live today. I was really wrestling with it. I thought maybe I shouldn't go live, right? But I decided to anyways. Bring you guys some of this fusion here, energy, in terms of the Tao, Dave Ching, right? And
What's
also
going on?
Ray Kurzweil. Right? Yeah, what's going on, Truth? Blessings.
I'm listening. I got a few times of I'm just thinking about everything though.
Yeah, you got to slow it down. You got to take it in with everything else I've said. I mean, honestly, I've had hours of explanations of these things. So, I'm just now summarizing hours and hours of material in terms of reading 1.5 translations of this Tao Te Ching, and I'm trying to lay out some of the main concepts. Okay, first I did so with the Lul, now I'm doing so with the Tao Te Ching, that I think is a good remedy because it is a philosophy that abhors the advancement of technique. Right? It is very cynical about knowledge, innovation, technology, laws, society, sageliness, okay? It says all of these things are fundamental self deceit. Right? You could bring yourself to ruin while trying to earn these things. Right? That's all he's pointing out. Right? He's not saying they're inherently bad, right? He's just saying, hey, look, there's something greater than these things that works between them, right? And yet sustains them. And yet nobody understands it. Okay, let's see what Lao Tzu has to say, all right? Let me stop talking here. It says, if you want to shrink something, you must first allow to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called subtle perception. Okay, subtle perception. Soften the glare. Don't try to impose ideas and concepts onto things. Right? Just because something is shrinking doesn't mean that it wasn't expanded to shrink. Okay, the best way to empty something out is sometimes to fill it up and then deflate it. Okay. He says the soft overcomes the hard, just like water. The slow overcomes the fast. Okay? Just like the tortoise and the hare. Let your workings remain a mystery. Okay? Don't take credit for anything you do. Okay? Just show people the results. Okay? Man is entitled to his actions, not the fruit of them. Right? Focus on the task and not the goal. Okay? People the results will come about on their own.
What's up, player?
Greetings. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. Engage in all things while doing nothing. Work without taking credit. Create without taking ownership. Focus on the task and not the goal. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. Right? Natural simplicity is harmony. Sincerity and simplicity go hand in hand. Complexity breeds assimilation, but simplicity imbues sincerity, man. I mean, let your desires be few. Find taste in that which has no flavor. How about that, folks? All right? And I'm just freeballing. I'm remembering some of the earlier lines. But yeah, let me go back to the text. It says, people would be content with their simple everyday lives in harmony, free of desire. Where there's no desire, all things are at peace. Okay? And knowledge is a possession as well. You know, one could, you know, lose one's persons in, personhood and one's inner wealth in the pursuit of knowledge. You know, knowledge is a possession. I say knowledge is desire. That's one of the things I say. Right? But yeah. And you know, those who are bound by desire see only the outward container. I mean, what you know, what do I have to know in order to in order to live a code of simplicity and sincerity with my fellow men? You know, how many things, how many possessions, how much knowledge is necessary to accomplish that goal? Says the master doesn't try to be powerful, thus he is truly powerful. The ordinary man keeps reaching for power, thus he never has enough. The master does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The kind man does something, yet something remains undone. The just man does something and leaves many things to be done. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. When the Tao is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. Right. When people lose a sense of natural simplicity, okay, then they have to rely on goodness and morality. Okay, once you make standards of goodness and morality, right, then what happens? Well, people usually okay, they start to develop code, codifications of that morality, right? Once they have codifications, they only know the form of morality and not true goodness. Then they're just focused on ritual. Now they've lost their sense of sincerity and natural simplicity and harmony with the Tao. And what comes natural? Okay, that's why he's saying the master, he doesn't try to force his way of goodness. He doesn't try to force his way of power. Okay, those who have power don't need to show that they have power to those who don't have it. Okay, he says, therefore the master concerns himself with the depths and not the surface, with the fruit and not the flower. He has no will of his own. He dwells in reality and lets all illusions go. Yeah. We're on chapter 39 here. And we're reading Stephen Mitchell translation. And I'm kind of moving a little fast to get to 42. So I'm going to get to 42 quite quickly here. And then I'm going to break down 42 here again, using this translation, because that is one very important chapter here, just as 38 is. A very fine chapter about how goodness and morality can be applied in society abroad. He very, very much disagrees with Confucianism in that chapter. Right? He says ritual is the husk of faith and loyalty. It's just the appearance of it. Okay, you don't actually get the true nourishment. It says pay attention to the fruit and not the flower. Right? So yeah. Yeah, we got ancient wisdom. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I've been talking nonstop here for I don't even know how long, but there is a link here pinned. Let me see how many minutes ago we started this show so that I know exactly because I'm not going to be here that long today. I am
42 minutes.
taking a lot of edibles. 42 minutes, okay. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to have to divide this. No, it's not been 42 minutes, I think. Let me see.
Like 45 minutes.
Let me see. Give me a second. Let me try to see this.
Says 43 minutes.
43
stream.
minutes. Yeah, you're right. 43 minutes ago. Yeah. Okay, wow. Okay, so I've been talking and yapping for like 30 minutes here. So let me take a little break here. And we're on chapter 39. Let me just read chapter 39. That'll be a good little break up here. And then we'll read about 24 more chapters very quickly. And over the next 15-minute span or so, and then we'll move on to Kurzweil, right? But he says, in harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious, the earth is solid and full, all creatures flourish together content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. When man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy, the earth becomes depleted, the equilibrium crumbles, creatures become extinct. Think of chapter 29. Do you think you can, change the world and improve it? Right? He says, nope, can't be done. Right? The master views the parts with compassion because he understands the whole. His constant practice is humility. He doesn't glitter like a jewel, but lets himself be shaped by the Tao, as rugged and common as a stone, he says. Now he says in 40, it's a very short chapter, he says, return is the movement of the Tao, returning. Okay? In another chapter, he says relinquishing instead of incremental gain. Right? Yielding is the way of the Tao, right? He also says restraint is the highest way under heaven, right? Path of restraint, right? All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being, he says. Okay, being is born of non-being. Okay? Stillness overcomes movement. Anyways. Let's just read this one. He says, when a superior man hears of the Tao, he immediately begins to embody it. When an average man hears of the Tao, he half believes it, half doubts it. When a foolish man hears of the Tao, he laughs out loud. If he didn't laugh, it wouldn't be the Tao. Thus it is said, the path into light seems dark. The path forward seems to go back. The direct path seems long. True power seems weak. True purity seems tarnished. True steadfastness seems changeable. True clarity seems obscure. The greatest art seems unsophisticated. The greatest love seems indifferent. The greatest wisdom seems childish. Notice he used indifference as the opposite of love and not hate. The Tao is nowhere to be found, yet it nourishes and completes all things. Okay. Okay, I'll read 42 in a minute. But yeah, how are you guys doing?
Cool.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to hear more of the technical stuff that you're talking about earlier. I'm still hooked on that.
Oh, yeah. That's more like a Wednesday show thing, but yeah, we could talk about that.
Paranoid chilling.
Yeah. You know, that's the bread and butter. This Tao stuff is just um on the path to looking at different philosophies that counteract with the modern situation. So what I want to show is the pathway how certain philosophies became deranged, and I also did that with Western philosophy, right? So now I'm doing it with Eastern philosophy, right?
And I would say this too, like the Tao is, it's anti-progress. It's go backwards instead of forwards.
Right. It just said that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So that's the great part of his philosophy is it's not caught up in this kind of hang up that these, you know, transhumanist or whatever they are kind of hung up on. This communist utopia.
Yeah, that's why I think that philosophy against change, right? You know,
Well, at
is
least
really
following a pattern, like this, they've sort of turned the following the Tao upside down, going against the waves.
they say it's all about like flow and change. It's like no, it's about oneness and harmony and things not changing.
Stillness.
Yeah, stillness. Exactly. You know, movement implies change. It's
Mm-hmm.
beyond movement. So how could it be with change? They say no, it's Heraclitus, it's flow, it's constant strife and change. It's like no, it's oneness and harmony, like Parmenides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got into it with my philosophy professor one day about that.
What was he sort of feeling like? Progress is the way to go, or something.
No, he was saying it's about change and flux. That the Tao itself represents internal flux.
Oh,
That it's like Hegelian. It's Heraclitus. And I was like, no. You know, I was like, I don't see that. It's not change from within. It's change in relation to the whole. So yeah, I kind
so
of had a
wait,
different
you
take.
said it's not change from within. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Hmm. That's interesting. I mean, there are parallels between Heraclitus and Lao Tzu. Like that whole quote where he says, "No one can understand my teaching." They both kind of said that, right? But I don't know. I haven't examined it enough to say whether, Heraclitus Logos is the Tao, exactly. But I do know that there is
He's got some
similarities
yeah, he's
between
got
the
some Taoist
Greeks.
concept. Yeah, he's got some Taoist concepts. Like
Right.
he's got some concepts of like equilibrium.
Yeah. It's not a 1-to-1 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that Lao Tzu probably understood the Logos or the Tao more in depth. And he's probably,
Yeah,
the,
cuz could you picture somebody saying like he has a lot of passages like against violence and stuff. You know, so I don't think he'd say like it's all war and strife.
right.
And I don't really see him saying that too much. I mean, I think he's kind of going with nah. It's all about like simplicity and harmony
And
and that sort of thing.
asceticism, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean, like in relation to the whole, like the whole of what? Like nature. I mean, like you want to change in relation to nature instead of just have your own internal system of progress. You know, and that's why he says don't externalize goodness and all these things and don't make them society wide principles. You know, because people will seek utility in these things instead of having just the inherent goodness that comes from not seeking it outside of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. You notice that people are, you know, today they have the ability, you know, to engage their desires, right? And even for the superfluity of engaging one's desire, one will take that, you know, on the off chance that one will actually fulfill their desire. You can see that in the kind of weird games that people permit themselves to play online. That actually people, you know, they don't have a standard for desire and goodness that exists apart from society as a whole. I think Lao Tzu's trying to create one by looking at nature and looking at simplicity and looking at how the individual functions with inherent goodness outside of society instead of um how society how I mean goodness is context dependent with one's function within society as a whole, because that's clearly what the Confucian ethic is trying to portray. It's like, look, no. And then Lao Tzu's like, nah, you know, this whole thing about cultural refinement, about like engaging in politics and try to grow the size of the state.
It's like a lost cause.
It's a lost cause, yeah.
You know, he kind of goes with like man follows the earth, and the all earth follows heaven, and the heaven follows the way of the Tao. So his whole philosophy is just directing yourself in line with that pattern. You know,
Right.
you know, sort of. You know, if you can see directly into your heart, that's virtue. You know, that's something that they kind of teach, the Taoists teach. Be a brook in the stream of the world and constantly move in the path of virtue, knowing the glorious but keeping to the lowly. Like humility.
Because originally I said I may just read till 49, but I'll see what I can do because 50 to chapter 60, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff about actually, you know what? Who knows? Let's see where we get to. But yeah, 42. And Thank you guys so much for being here. You know, I appreciate you guys. In terms of this continuation here, it says 42. The Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. Three gives birth to all things. So this idea that, you know, whatever creates is not going to, you know, like, for example, the prime mover, even that, you know, has to go from a point of stillness and kind of move things into creation. Now it has to create through the void, right? So there has to be a place where being comes in from. So being comes from non-being, right? So he says the Tao gives birth to one, one gives birth to two, right? Now two doesn't really do anything, okay, but give birth to a third entity, okay? So two is almost like the space within which, okay, being forms, and being, okay, is what creates all things, okay? Which, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, okay? You know, metaphysically, cosmologically, right? That makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, where would everything come from? I mean, everything happens in something or on something. So you could tell everything's one. You know, separateness is pure illusion, right? So, I mean, everything has to come into being through nothingness. You know what I mean? Or else where would it come from? Right? So, I mean, it's obvious that, you know, between creation, I mean, between what's created and what is being formed, you need a space within to create. Okay, so it says all things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When the male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Then it says ordinary men hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is at one with the whole universe. All right, I'm going to move on here very quickly now. And please, guys, butt in whenever you guys feel the need.
You know who that reminded me of is what's his name? We were just talking about the guy the other day. You know, I can't think of his name now. Wow. Whatever. I'll think of it in a minute. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, but it says the gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. He says this many times. One of the repeating statements, that which has no substance enters where there is no space. Okay. Okay, it's like the
Kierkegaard. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, Kierkegaard, yeah. Yeah, that which has no substance enters where there is no space. This shows the value of non-action. Teaching without words, performing without action, that is the master's way. Okay.
The trees that can't bend always break.
Yeah. Now he talks about this idea of the virtue of non-being, using nothingness, using stillness, being free of desire. Okay, how do you apply these things to worldly situations? He says fame or integrity, which is more important, money or happiness, which is more valuable, success or failure, which is more destructive. It's a real good question, isn't it? Okay. Fame can destroy you. You've seen many people in fame and be miserable, right? I mean, we live in an age of 15-minute fames. Okay, which is more important, fame or integrity? Okay, which people are more are doing better off? Okay, the people who have integrity or the people who seek fame? Okay, let's be honest here. Okay, who's gonna be better off? The person who seeks stability and contentment, or the person who always tries to increase their wealth? Okay, there's many people who tried to increase their wealth who got into self-destructive habits. Okay, and what about success or failure? Okay, he really brings it home with that one, right? You could lose things and it could benefit you. You know, God could give you something way better as a replacement. Sometimes losing things is the best thing that ever happens. You ever fucking notice that?
Yeah.
Sometimes not getting things is the best fucking thing that ever happens. Sometimes gaining success can destroy somebody. Gaining success and fame and wealth has destroyed many people. In fact, Lao Tzu knew this in 400 BC. He knew that shit. And there's still people trying to seek all of those things today, trying to die for those things today. Okay?
Yeah, it's like that Fight Club quote, you know. It's only after you lost everything that you're free to do anything.
Oh, yeah. The things you own end up owning you. We
Yep.
ride on the railroad, but the railroad rides on us.
There's a
Okay?
Bob Dylan quote, and he says, "Sometimes, you know, it's not about what you don't have. Sometimes it's about what you don't want. You don't have and don't want. Right? It's like some people have things that you don't want. Right? I don't know. It's something weird like that. It's in his book Chronicles.
Yeah, those who are bound by desire see only the outward container. If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. True perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems empty, yet it is fully present. True straightness seems crooked. True wisdom seems foolish. True art seems artless. The master allows things to happen. She shapes events as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. '46. When a country is in harmony with the Tao, the factories make trucks and tractors. When the country goes counter with the Tao, warheads are stockpiled outside the cities. There is no greater illusion than fear, no greater wrong than preparing to defend yourself, no greater misfortune than having an enemy. Whoever can see through all fear will always be safe. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. The more you know, the less you understand. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. Okay, I'm only going to read two more of these, and then we're going to have to move to Kurzweil because I spent too much time yapping in the beginning. So we're not going to be able to, I wanted to make it at least a 64, but it won't be happening today. We'll have to continue this next time. Actually, I think we'll be reading this translation for the next week. It actually depends on how these panels go, you know. So, yeah, because some of this panel might take up some time tomorrow, but I doubt it. I mean, it's what do you call it? Wednesday, so so we'll see what happens, but yeah, let me read a couple more of these. It says, in the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Chapter 48. That's what we were looking for. Less and less do you need to force things until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. True mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. Finally, this last chapter, and then we'll end this. to move to Kurzweil, the master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She is also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them all like her own children. Okay, let's move forward, folks. Blessings. I love that. The simplicity of that translation, and the simplicity of the next one we're going to read is nice too. You know, it's a popular one, but it's the simplicity of it is very nice. Oh yeah, actually I already have this loaded. So yeah, we're going to listen to some music and then we'll be back in a little bit unless somebody has something to say here. Also, the link is pinned. Okay, blessings. Let's play some Doppler effect, and then we'll move forward with the Kurzweil.
Oh snap!
Analysis, and yeah, we're gonna get to some of his critiques here, and it looks like he's looking at benefits of the new technology, but they kind of sound very frightening. They actually sound like dangers, more than benefits. So we're getting that impression very quickly. And yeah, so we'll be looking at that here.
The remedy's worse, more worse than the disease.
Yeah, exactly. You know, solutions worse than the problems. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know what I mean? It's like the poop map. I mean,
You mean like the hookworm map?
Yeah, the hookworm map. Yeah. Exactly. Right, precisely.
Wear shoes, people.
Yeah, you know. Oh yeah, the Jews need shoes. Oh yeah, the Jews made shoes, and then the Jesuits got them somehow. So, yeah, you know that's all coming soon, folks. At the end of the Machine Live shows, we'll be unveiling quite a few interesting theories. Blessings. Here's some Doppler effect.
to get high with the machine lies. I rocket to the sky, covering up massive lies. Eating edibles that taste like American pie. Celebrating the inauguration of the last generation. Incredible.
Surprise guest appearance from George Floyd.
Got that robot audio again, dude.
Those were bars, though. Kind of went with it.
Yo, I ain't superstitious, but these niggas is nice.
Pop shit, apocalypse, top of propaganda, force for
hip-hop distribution.
Run the gamut from outstanding to preposterous. On top of this, I move posterior from impoverished to postulate. A process accomplished through perseverance. Every man's not my brother, regardless of appearance. Apprehension clouds the spirit. Tension prepares us for ascension. Then at his best is when he breaks chains of conventions, a convenient covenant, coveted from conception. We're all from the same mold. Spores and bacteria, bacteria. Others endure hysteria. A claustrophobic neurosis in this masquerade ball of fake glasses and big noses. Alaska splashes explosive flows to expose Pinocchio's growing nose. Composed to compose compositions, flows are getting a little close fitting. I'll stop the shit out of overconfident. Nondescript scripts, compliments of my frozen mic dominance. A passively aggressive testament, that's how I'm repping shit.
Watch Fast murder the trap, effortless. Like God's on my side and he answered my Christmas list. After the first couple of bars, I start to smell fear. That's when I take them so they can breathe air. You're so secure with your insecurity. Perfect world of piety. I swat flies when they bother me. Some say I touch hearts like Kano. Now every time you see a mic, you just say no. Say no. Write with words. I write with metal. My soul is rust free. Rap stay dusty. In the coldest winters, we thought husky. They be like, I don't know his name, but he aimed like Wayne Gretzky. That's funny, cause I don't play hockey. I play horse on the mic and watch them all. Got them all. Left hooks, left them shook like extra sketchy. Give me an inch with mine. I'll take a mile if you let me. I'm not a bum, I'm a nomad off dome. Thoughts have no home, the page is ours to roam. Catch me on some fantasy shit like Cinderella. Well, we'll see if the shoe fits after the acapella. It never made sense, claiming something it wasn't. What's the penalty for that? He might never come back. And the atomic pressure won't lessen after you learned your lesson. Mr. Sips in a track? Yeah, that's a buck. Like a farmhand cutting a little picky. If I'm the author, I'm also the farmer. Stupid, I'll shoot an arrow at you and my name ain't Cupid.
No, I'm honest with this heart, with a William Wallace heart that's brave, and a blade that's well polished and sharp. Intent ain't to reinvent these spinning wheels of time, just to enjoy the bumpy rides and improve upon its design. I take time, every plate circles complete. Love it. I've learned even tardy birds come to eat from it. Early bird gets that worm, but the early worm finds a spot in early bird's stomach and can't escape from it. Idiot bot jocks of livestock, grace amongst our mind crop. Beasts of burden, murdered, their mind squat. Primate nations leave these regions unexplored. Liberty towards the truth through sandy floors of beach shores. Shorty atomic wastelands, definite situations of complex edifice. Mother nature broken, fucked by offspring, reckless negligence, destructive, corrupted residents of earth-bound pessimists. Found willingly bound in the back of yellow cab, confessing clearly. Hear the anti-Mobius strip theories. Dennis Leary, Miller, and Menace, cynicism, vision with a depressed Beth Gibbons position on life's mission.
Now listen, now house sickness. These niggas, Adams, the illest, cat pillars, and don't choke guns, smoke onions, crying with no funds, no fun trying to get by, but we still do it. And rap music to death do us. Wet your noodle with raps in the pot, hard boil you. The rap gargoyle you, stoned at nights on top of buildings, gothic like Bruce in a blue suit. Let's get it poppin', get it poppin', get it drop out of the sky in the rotten apple where some get tackled. Hooks that grapple right on your atom, got you choking off the rhyme poets. Stay focused while you villain, stay joking. We serious on the mic, get ignorant, delivering rap vocals for the new millennium. We're familiar, marching in atomic garments, bombing all the nonsense. Yo, cats ain't ready for this heavy abyss. Thoughts that travel through the tunnels of scripts. My mic holds one in a clip and folds back under the dick. Spit rhino acapellas, gun in your shit. Get rap plugs stuck in your whip. Fucking with this over these L Pro percussion hits. We love to rip, love to sip, love to rap jokes to death. Yeah, Adam.
That's a crazy collab.
Oh yeah.
Was that Vast Air in there?
Oh yeah.
I thought I recognized his voice. It's some old cats.
Yeah, that's a classic Adams.
Mm.
But yeah, it says here that two-way communication between neurons and electronically based neuron transistors. How is that a benefit? Sounds like they can hijack your brain. He says earlier, ubiquitous nanotechnology and robotics are 2 or 3 decades away. A prime example of their application will be deployment of billions of nanobots inside human blood cells to travel inside human bloodstream. This technology will be feasible within 25 years, he says, based on miniaturization of cost reduction trends, in addition to scanning the brain to facilitate reverse engineering. That is analyzing how the brain works in order to copy its design. Nanobots will be able to perform a broad variety of diagnostic therapeutic functions inside the bloodstream in the human body. Robert A. Freitas, for example, has designed robotic replacements for human blood cells that perform hundreds and thousands of times more effectively than biological counterparts. With Freitas reciprocytes, robotic red blood cells, you could do an Olympic sprint for 15 minutes without taking a breath. His robotic macrophages would be far more effective than our white blood cells at combating pathogens. His DNA repair robot will be able to repair DNA transcription errors
Holy cow, this
and
guy
even
went deep.
implement yeah, and even implement um needed DNA changes. So, he's talking about things like,
Like
obviously.
gene editing, it sounds like that
Oh
part.
yeah. Yeah, gene editing on the spot,
Sheesh.
through nanotechnology in the bloodstream. And he also concludes. He says the human brain uses a very inefficient electrochemical digital controlled analog computational process. The bulk of calculations are done in the interneural connections at a speed of only about 200 calculations per second in each connection, which is about 10 million times slower than contemporary electronic circuits. But the brain gains its prodigious powers from its extremely parallel organization in 3 dimensions. There are many technologies in the wings that build circuitry in 3 dimensions. Nanotubes, tubes formed from graphite sheets consisting of hexagonal arrays of carbon atoms, are good conductors and can be used to build compact circuits. These are already working in laboratories. 1 cubic inch of nanotube circuitry would theoretically be a million times more powerful than the human brain. So he's talking about replacing the human brain. He's talking about replacing human DNA with nanorobots, DNA repair robots. And he's also talking about two-way processing between neurons and electronically based neuron transistors, so as to expand the brain's potential. But this also expands the machine's potential into the brain, as we see, right? So that two-way communication means that they can reprogram your brain, right? And essentially they could probably reprogram your genes, right? And by the way, you don't need your brain. You should probably replace it. And he's saying all
Yeah,
this
leave
within
it at
30
the
years.
door.
Right. He's saying all this within 30 years. Right? Things that took evolution, millions of years to create. Right? We could just replace it, and we don't know the long-term consequences of replacing these things, right?
Yeah,
Okay?
the unintended consequences.
Unintended consequences, right? But he's saying these things as benefits, right? Yet to be seen. I mean, right? Then he says, when we
It's
want to, yeah.
it's just like wild, man. Like, who would want to risk having to go through all the bugs and glitches and errors that could happen with that kind of shit? And you end
Yeah.
up dead because no one's gonna be able to repair you.
Yeah. For example, if the neurons end up firing in the wrong way, you could be looking at the wrong reality. You could be stuck in the wrong virtual reality simulation and
Maybe
just
that's what
trapped
they
there.
want.
So that is a possibility here. He says that this amounts to two-way communication between neurons and electronically based neuron transistors. The Institute scientists demonstrated their invention by controlling the movement of living leech from their computer. When we want to experience real reality, the nanobots just stay in position in the capillaries and do nothing. If we want to enter virtual reality, they suppress all of the inputs coming in from the real senses and replace them with the signals that would be appropriate for the virtual environment. You, i.e., your brain, could decide to come. Wait, I'm sorry. You and your brain. Yeah, but this is wild. You could come back to reality by suppressing inputs coming in from real senses, but there's a two-way communication. And if the brain can be replaced with the neuronal signals coming from a machine, then what's the difference between the machine producing its own signals and causing the person to experience whatever type of reality they want if there's no difference? When we want to experience real reality, the nanobots just stay in position in the capillaries and do nothing, he says. If we want to enter virtual reality, they suppress all the inputs coming in from the real senses and replace them with the signals that would be appropriate for the virtual environment. You, i.e., your brain, could decide to cause your muscles and limbs to move as you normally would, but the nanobots would intercept these interneuronal signals, suppress your real limbs from moving, and instead cause your virtual limbs to move and provide the appropriate reorientation in the virtual environment. The primary limitation of nanobot-based virtual reality at this time is only that it's not yet feasible in size and cost. One day, however, the web will provide a panoply of virtual environments to explore. Some will be recreations of real places, others will be fanciful environments that have no quote unquote real counterpart. Some will be impossible in the physical world, perhaps because they violate physical laws. We will be able to quote unquote go to these virtual environments by ourselves, or we will meet other people there, both real people and simulated people. Then he follows it up by saying, of course, ultimately there won't be a clear distinction between the two.
He's literally talking about MMORPGs. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean it's wild stuff, but part of what he's saying is actually a combination of factors that I think he's overlooking the danger, because he's saying that there's two-way communication between the machine and the humans. The human and the machine parts are interchangeable, right? That the human can yet and still control the machine and get it to shut off whenever they want to, right? But we all know that this could obviously backfire, and these human beings could be stuck in virtual reality talking to simulated people that they don't even know are real, right? So,
That's crazy.
yeah,
He made like a lot of positive claims that maybe, I don't know, you call them, about like how it would be. He was like, not only is this going to happen, the technology will just shut off automatically whenever you want it to. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah.
It also sounds like they're gonna have, whoever gets this stuff would be basically a literal puppet that they can control through the nanobots and all that. With the synapses and everything.
Yeah.
Control how you move, control how you perceive things. Just like total control.
Yeah, and he says the only thing that's wrong with this is that it just costs too much right now. So, it costs too much to
Sheesh.
implement on a wide scale. So that's the only foreseeable problem he sees with it. But yeah, he
Well,
said,
also, it's like, what does he mean by robot? Like, I think it's kind I feel like there's something else that they would, some sort of other technology than we would classify as a robot.
well, I mean, they use robotics, advanced robotic systems over here in the Henry. I mean, yeah, I almost called it the Henry Ford factory, the Ford factory, right? But yeah, you know what I mean. I know. I guess it was originally started by Henry Ford, but yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, this yeah, over here, like when we were like we go to school here in Detroit, and they take us to the on a field trip to the Ford factory. That's what you do when you're a kid and you go to elementary school in Detroit. They're like,
You
let's
could
go on
go
a
work
field
at the
trip.
factory, dude.
Let's go on a field trip to the Ford factory, and we'll see how they make cars. And of course, there's these advanced robotic systems building these cars. Right? These people are just standing around, right? And they're operating these giant robotic systems, right? They're putting the input into these giant machines, right? And they're managing these machines. And if they're not there to manage them, everything will go wrong. But eventually, he's saying that won't be needed.
Yeah.
Right? These machines will be able to build things themselves.
Remember, like, because we went to the newspaper plant, like the main one, like a big one, dude. They had the biggest machines. Oh my god, it was crazy. There's so many people working that thing.
Yep. And I'm gonna go back through the chat after I'm done with a little bit more of this reading here. But yeah, this is some wild shit that he's saying. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie John Malkovich, but he's gonna start talking about that. Maybe Truther looked at a trailer or something. Did you find anything interesting there?
Yeah, it's like basically people were paying to be like John Malkovich, and he didn't know why. So he like, I don't know how they were doing this. It didn't say in the trailer. And then he went in to like go see why everybody was trying to be like him. He like busted his way to the front of the line, and he's like he experiences what it's like to be himself through whatever this technology is.
He's a goofy guy too. I didn't see that movie, but it sounds kind of wild.
Yeah, this is wild what he says about the movie. He says that in 2030, going to a website will mean entering a full immersion virtual reality environment. In addition to encompassing all of the senses, some of these shared environments will include emotional overlays, as nanobots will be capable of triggering neuronal correlates of emotion, sexual pleasure. Wait, what?
Oh my gosh.
And other derivatives of our sensory experience and mental reactions. So yeah, I mean, you can imagine that, like, obviously when you go onto a website, right, they may conjure up some sort of AI, you know, sort of, entity that matches your persona, that matches your sexual preferences, that matches your behavioral, biosignature, I mean the way you express your body language. I mean, it interprets all of that. So it'll go into all of that. Right. So I don't know why I guess that's what he's saying by sexual pleasure. I mean, I don't really know what he's getting at there, but yeah, I mean, I guess kind of weird there. But yeah, he said, but yeah, you're already seeing how, going into a website, I mean, they might tailor your experience on that website based on the past searches that you have and all of that type of stuff, and they might have a robotic AI that's tailored to, you know, address your needs inside of a virtual marketplace. You know what I mean? That's specifically tailored to your personality. So if you're a pothead, it'll be a type of person. You know what I mean? If you're a fucking, you know, a black Republican businessman, you know, it'll be a certain type of person. You know, if you're fucking, you know, a Chinese, you know, you know what I mean, dude, it'll be a certain type of person. If you're like a Mexican, you know, be like a certain type of a person to fit everybody's needs. All right. So everybody's experience will be tailored. I mean, so he's saying that, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? Nanobots are going to tailor people's experiences through virtual reality in terms of, you know, when you go into a virtual website. It says, in the same way that people today beam their lives from webcams in their bedrooms. Uh-oh. Quote unquote experience beamers. What? Circa 2030 will beam their entire flow of sensory experiences. What? Oh
Right,
man.
that sounds like that John Malkovich thing. Kind of like everybody's going to experience his thing.
Oh, okay. Their emotions and other secondary reactions will be able to plug in by going to appropriate website and experience other people's lives, as in the movie being John Malkovich. We will be able to archive particularly interesting experiences and relive them at any time. We won't need to wait until 2030 experiences shared virtual reality environment. Okay, so you've seen this kind of thing on Black Mirror where they hack
Oh
into
yeah,
people's memory,
big time.
right? And they've even implanted false memories and all types. There's
Yep.
all types of scenarios where things can go wrong. Okay, in this whole thing, all right? So,
And
yeah,
also
I mean,
the way he describes it sounds like VR crack, like VR addiction.
yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, he said experience beamers. Yeah, yeah, it does kind of sound like VR. Yeah, but yeah, but like, what would people get out of that? Right? Imagine you're just experiencing somebody else's life while you're what, docile and in virtual reality. I mean, what could that possibly accomplish? I mean,
It's for instant gratification of whatever fetish you have.
yeah, I guess. I mean, so I mean, there would have to be a great number of people that are just living actual lives that you can tap into at this point. I mean, or you would have to just rely on past
That
experiences. Right?
that and I guess they can just create whatever kind of experience you're looking for. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to be a real person's experiences. They can just create it.
recreate it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, they'd have to recreate past experiences.
I mean, it would be based off of real things, but you know, they have context. But
Yeah, yeah. And he says, we won't wait until 2030 to experience shared virtual reality environment, though, at least for the visual and auditory senses. Full immersion visual auditory environments will be available by the end of this decade with images written directly into our retinas.
image, huh?
Sorry to interrupt you guys, but what are you reading?
Kurzweil.
This is Kurzweil again.
Yeah, it sounds almost exactly like what William Gibson talks about in his first couple books. Like it's very similar. I think his second book, I think it is, or third book, I can't remember, but it sounds very
Right.
similar to what
Yeah.
he talks about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably on the same wavelength, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like
No, your
really
mic
weird
sounds
how like they're like literally selling what William Gibson talked about as like the future or right now. It's really strange.
I think your mic sounds awesome, but it's a little hot, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, actually, in the Kurzweil movie called Transcendence, right? And He said some call it singularity. I call it transcendence. So
Sheesh.
so the Johnny Depp character is giving a definite nod to Ray Kurzweil in that movie, right? And the nanobots repair nature and stop global warming.
Well, that's hopium right there.
Yeah, and actually yeah, but actually the government stops them, so they murder all the nanobots, so they ruin everything.
So they don't solve climate change. You're saying
They do, but they kill them regardless. So the movie
no,
shows it
sad
solving.
trombone.
Yeah, the movie shows it solving it, and then it like kills it. So Elon Musk is in the movie when he's giving this speech, the main speech in the movie.
Dude.
Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so he's a huge supporter of Kurzweil's ideas. I mean,
Of course, he's trying to make it a reality.
yeah, and it's one of the corniest movies of all time. Actually, it was a box office disaster. They spent so much money to make this movie, and nobody went to go watch it.
Wait,
But
if I'm
yet,
not
it's still,
mistaken,
yeah,
Johnny Depp's in that, right?
yeah,
Total flop.
Okay,
yeah.
so
So
here's the weirdness with that. Like, didn't they kind of share the same chick or something?
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Right.
they had sex with the same girl. Yeah, so that's pretty gross, right?
Yeah. Something's up there, man.
Yeah. So we don't want to say too much more about that because we don't want to get the channel shut down. But yeah, you guys get the picture. There's a lot of weird shit going on. But yeah, we're gonna play some music soon. We're gonna end the show soon. We're just reading some of Kurzweil, and we've looked at some videos of Kurzweil and his philosophical ideas, right, about cosmology, the origins of life, and also other ideas he has about simulation theory, right, and his yeah, some of his other ideas. So yeah, we've looked at some of his ideas there. But yeah, we'll be ending the show soon. I mean, we just wanted to bring this back. We did a little show the other day, you know, trying to bait Andrew Wilson to come on. I mean, but he kind of, I don't know, he kind of chickened out, or is playing chicken with us, or whatever he was trying to do. So we'll go ahead and premiere that tomorrow. At the end of the show, right? I have two clips. One that Truther Cop brought to my attention. You may have remembered my series called Black Nazi Grifters, right? Where we looked at Tazariak and his views, right? So Tazariak and Andrew Wilson debated. We may look at their debate, but I had a interesting interaction with both of them about debates, right? So yeah, we'll go ahead and show you guys that, right? And show you guys about.
And you met, man, that was fascinating because this was like 6 months ago. And you said to him, you were talking about Andrew Wilson. He specifically says, I don't know who that is. And then just 4 days ago, he was on a stream.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see a lot of stuff. But yeah. But in terms of other ideas, we'll have some music. Tomorrow we'll have more Alul tomorrow, right? We'll try to find some fun videos for you guys. But yeah, in terms of we'll continue reading the Tao, and we'll continue reading um Kurzweil as well, right? But the fact is this: we have some nice debate reviews lined up too. We also have a little segment on Taoism and magic, right? That we did with our friend who lives in China. You know what I mean? So yeah, we did a lot of cool discussions recently. We did an interesting discussion with Benjamin as well. Um, and of course, we're corresponding with him on a number of topics. He is a very scholarly fellow and an interesting gentleman as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're looking at different people here. But Kurzweil, he's Polish. You know what I mean? So he's the same race as as my wife. Interestingly enough, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's a fascinating gentleman, and he's got some ideas about technology that are rather, I'd say, alarming, to say the least. But yeah, he says we don't need to wait till 2030 to experience shared virtual reality environment, though. At least for the virtual and auditory, visual and auditory senses. I'm sorry. Full immersion visual auditory environments will be available at the end of this decade, with images written directly into our retinas by eyeglasses and contact lenses. All of the electronics for computation, image reconstruction, and a very high bandwidth wireless connection to the internet will be embedded in our glasses and woven into our clothing, so the computers as distinct objects will disappear. It's not just a virtual world that will benefit from ubiquitous application of nanobots and fully realized nanotechnology. Portable manufacturing systems will be able to produce virtually any physical product from information for pennies a pound, thereby providing for our physical needs at almost no cost. So it's like the replicators from Star Trek or some shit like that, or pretty much 3D printers, but utilizing nanobots and AI. Nanobots will be able to reverse the environmental destruction left by the Industrial Revolution. See, this is the thing that they show in that movie, right? Nano-engineered fuels cells and solar cells will provide clean energy. Nanobots in our physical bodies will destroy the pathogens and cancer cells. Repair DNA. So he mentioned that before. He's kind of on a loop with that. And reverse the ravages of aging. Right. If they could just repair the DNA, then why would they need to, you know, do anything else? I mean, yeah. So here he goes on to say, he says, these technologies will become so integral to our health and well-being that we will eventually become indistinguishable from our machine support systems. And I am very, very blowed. In fact, I will probably be ending this very soon. And please go ahead and join the discussion if you want to. The link is pinned. And I'll be looking at the chat here. I know I haven't been really engaging with the chat, but I'll have to go back and see who everybody who wrote. So that will take some time. But yeah, he says these technologies will become so integral to our health and well-being that we will eventually become indistinguishable from our machine support systems. In fact, in my view, the most significant application of the development of nanotechnology and related advanced technologies of the 21st century will be merger of biological and non-biological intelligence. First, it is important to point out that well before the end of the 21st century, thinking on non-biological substrates will dominate. Biological thinking is stuck at 1026 calculations per second for all biological human brains, and that figure will not appreciably change, even with bioengineering changes to our genome. So I think that comes full circle to what I read at the beginning about him wanting to change how the human brain functions and wanting to replace the human brain with technology. But yeah, let's end it there, folks. I mean, and I'll be looking at the chat here. But yeah, please, guys, feel free to comment.
I don't know. Nanobots in our brain. That's all I got really from all that. Like, not a good idea. You know, the scriptures kind of say something about men will reach a point where they'll want to die, but they can't, and they'll beg for death. I think that's kind of what that's talking about, maybe.
Yeah, I've always seen that. Like when I seen where like Elon Musk is like going with this stuff, dude. It's exactly the passage.
Yeah, that's straight out of Revelation. Sometimes I feel like these people are, you know, maybe reading the Bible and trying to like fulfill it or something.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like you can't tell which way it's going. Is this what the Bible's talking about, or are they making it happen? It's like what the fuck?
Well, I think it's kind of both.
Sad trombone.
I think that it's happening naturally, and then I think there are people that are trying to, you know, create false end time events in a way.
Oh, and Benjamin. Oh my God.
Yeah, blessings to Cam and Lizard Tree and Zephyr and Luma Tommy and Rethink. Blessings, brother. And everyone else who's here. Bootstrap, Paradox. Yeah. Dominic, thank you for being here, brother.
Yeah, I'd watch that Andrew Wilson and Tazariak debate. That'd be interesting at some point.
Yeah, Soul Read, what's going on? Yeah, that would be fun. But yeah, there's this one guy who's like a white guy who's pretending to be black or something like that. But yeah, he's like spurging the whole time. So it's kind of a waste. I mean, it could have been it could have been a much more deep interaction if it was just them two. I mean, having a back and forth, I think that would have been a lot more entertaining. If the other two guys just wouldn't have not been on the screen, you mean?
Yeah, there was a lot going on. I kind of skimmed through it, but I didn't watch much of it yet.
Did you see that guy that joined Father Joseph's chat? Like, I think it was maybe yesterday or the day before, and he had that same picture you got behind you right now as his profile picture. And he like said
George
something about
Droid?
cyborgs.
That probably wasn't Neuro, I would have to guess.
I don't know who it was, but it was funny.
Yeah, peace to Uncle Fatty and Jake and the Freak. And look within. Blessings. All right, I think that's about everyone. Yeah, Plasma Void. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, appreciate you.
Madsen as well.
Yeah, Madsen's down there, huh? Jessica Jane. Yeah, thank you. Good to see you as well. Yeah, Philosopher. Blessings, brother. John Malkovich, huh? You watched it. John Cusack, the puppeteer. Uh-oh. You know, when John Cusack's involved, it's going to be very hyperbolic.
Greetings, Jack Talcott. Thank you. Blessings. If machines got in charge, there would be a storyline where a person could find a way out of the program, only switches to that part of the map and does not escape. Whoa. Deep thoughts.
Dun dun dun.
From Richard Madsen. Blessings. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, peace and respect to you as well. You know, Neuro's around here, you know, and I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Oh yeah, he's there. Yeah, so yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, exactly. Gay ops. That's going on all over the place. You guys should have seen the Raging Tomato panel yesterday. So much gay ops.
Bro.
It's not even funny. So that's the entire chat there. All right. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll close this one down. And we'll still be live on Neurojack's channel. So if you guys want to come over there, I have no idea how to forward the audience. But once I learn, this will be a much of smoother operation here. But yeah, we're live at Neurojack, the channel.
Posted the link in the chat.
Yeah, so yes, okay, yeah. So Reddington, it says the link in the chat. So you guys go ahead and move over there if you guys want, you know, and we can continue the discussion. Obviously, I could drop the link over there too, right? But right now, you know, I pinned the link for everybody to come up. But I'm ending the show here on my end. I'm gonna play some music and end this show. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. You know, it's here on the Machine Lies, where we talk about the lies of the machine on the machine that lies. And I hope you guys have clarity to see through the lies. And yeah, we're definitely expanding on a lot of these ideas tomorrow. So please, you know, join us 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. We'll be there.
All right, man.
Yeah. So yeah. So please.
Peace, bro.
Yeah, peace, brother. Yep.
Easy.
Yep. Yep.
Chain smoking beaties till his brain's broken completely. Get back on his feet, work out, and eat some Wheaties. Greedy for the cheese, please, most couldn't fathom. Had him in the Cobra clutch when he spat the mad him gems. Collection of brats, trims and hats. Had no time for the pity pat, I'll give him that. The rhythm hit him back with a right hook. Shook it off, caught a shiner, thought it was a aight look. Depends on the shades, the end of days, spades. Pretenders late and days on stages. Do melees, eat it up, microphone, microwave, mayonnaise. His own way was strange, but it matters not. Tuned into a frequency tone that shattered rock. Hold it down like Saturn do Spock, rapper jocks. Need to put a sock in a chatterbox. The block got lied of IOT stock. Folks gather round, it's no joke like knock knock. It's them, they came home to roost, y'all. And watch them transform the game to the rules of foosball. She's too small. Any questions? Him could squeeze blood from a penny in the reception. Keep guessing, it gets deeper than depression. The power of suggestion, wake or sleep or keep the lesson. Dig that beat, ripped it with metal fingers and stomped it with dick fat feet. And you know what they say, cut the hay. Resistance is futile, you will be assimilated. But today, it's all gray, metallic with a ruby stone. Rude like the type of dude you could write a movie on. Hardcore porn, did his own stunts, writ his own rhymes, and split his own blunts once in a while. Every other minute, eyes pop out, Popeye heavy on the spinach, steady on his business and ready with an ill pitch. Keep the bad bills mixed like Denny Cruciano's nicks. No hitch, just a shitload of spitting sneeze. Strictly G stacking up off a rack of hidden fees. Rappers like the gay club striptease with hippies on the yip saying, hey, bub, grip these. They
screaming for attention, beaming at the mention of a scary demon convention. You could cut the tension with a switchblade and serve it on the same plate of hors d'oeuvres a witch made. Delayed, persuaded the chambermaid to bet her paycheck on a get naked game of spades. Straight up, no chaser, no layaways, crossing faint taste to microwave mayonnaise.
Doom has taken over every continent.
It's been a long time coming. But tonight, because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Yo. Mr. President, the world is watching. You're gonna hear it often. The last administration left us coughing. 9/11 dust bringing death to us. The health is privatized and hospitals won't tend to us. And it's rough getting laid off, knowing CEOs are paid off. Big scams that crippled me and my fam. And you seem like a good brother, but I gotta wonder you're in DC with some of those that put us under. And I'm glad to have a man of your demeanor as a leader. But if the flick is Pulp Fic, I think you be the cleaner. Harvey Keitel played the character well, so the real criminals don't ever sit in a cell. Is that your position? To keep the citizens from tipping the government the fuck over, cause we've been fucked over. I'd like to be more optimistic, but the world is twisted. A new America, oh shit, I think I missed it. Some of us feeling conflict in our heart. Will we see a real change? Just another false start. I hope he speaks from the heart. All we see a real change, just another false start. It seems I got a conflict in my heart. All we see a real change, just another false start. It's tough to tell them apart. Are we really seeing change? Now I hate to be the bad news agitator, but I was sent to be the large crowd captivator. I'm a natural, I never use no activator. It's hard to find the realest people cause we're after paper. Chase the shit like rats in a maze. My perspective is reflective what the headlines say. Ways view, plus the stress in the air made you lose your mind again. I'll say these are tumultuous times. Since the campaign was open change, I feel it's open range for us to think critically and then explode the game. Construct something better, eliminate the cheddar. Cause when wealth is involved, it seems our morals weather. My hopes are so high, I see my own sky. The possibilities are limitless, but don't flies. If you want something different, rise up. I gotta see it with my eyes before my time's up. Some of us feeling conflict in our heart. Will we see a real change? Just another false start. I hope he speaks from the heart. All we see a real change, just another false start. It seems I got a conflict in my heart. All we see a real change, just another false start. It's tough to tell them apart. Are we really seeing change? All these charades and shenanigans made us a fan again. Don't you see the system's got the upper hand again? Do your best impersonation of a mannequin, but when they detonate the bombs, don't panic then. This is one nation, one agenda. Dominate the globe, full control but no surrender. I remember being young and so oblivious before I realized the shit's so serious. 195 countries on the globe, 191 governments under American control. Military bases, interfaces in many places. It's hard to find an oasis without our traces. Think they're gonna let Obama stop the flow of dough? I think no, or we'll be witnessing an overthrow. Bankers run this shit, don't get it twisted. Ain't nothing personal here, it's just business of America. Got us feeling conflict in our heart. Will we see a real change? Just another false start. I hope he speaks from the heart. All we see a real change, just another false start. It seems I got a conflict in my heart. All we see a real change, just another false start. It's tough to tell them apart. Are we really seeing change?
It's the answer that led those who've been told for so long by so many to be cynical and fearful and doubtful about what we could achieve, to put their hands on the arc of history, bended once more toward the hope of a better day.
the skin on top of your ribs. Red stuff come out of squibs like a Hollywood script. Bitch niggas on the floor screaming for money and shit. Cardiologists hook up the heart, mind.